But I do want to talk about women because when we watch the Republican Party and this glamorizing of Melania Trump, but from a superficial standpoint, right? They did it with Sarah Palin, like these women are beautiful, and that's really sexist, right? And then when you look over at the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris was demonized for doing stuff that have been doing forever, like, and so she's being held to a higher standard. And I do want to talk about sexism within the political parties because I also think that sexism is also embedded in the DNA of the country. What do you say about your political party and how they deal with women and this whole and listen, I understand that this whole Melania thing is part of that Trump culture that isn't the Republican Party, but Sarah Palin also with the lipstick, and they kept talking about her shoes, and she was attractive, but then Michelle Obama has to cure cancer to be, you know what I mean? Like she can show her shoulder, and we seen Melania Trump, getting it in with another chick naked, and she is like this beautiful idea of of the American woman. So I just really don't want to neglect that, and I wanted to make sure that because when I watched, Hillary Clinton, if you don't like her and you don't agree with her policies, I respect that. But a lot of people hated Hillary because she was a woman. And I just think that it is irresponsible to ignore. So I did want to hear what each of you had to say about, the sexism that we experience within these parties. Nando AOC gets it all the time. So I'll start with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, listen, I was not a Hillary Clinton supporter. I do not like Hillary Clinton at all. But I can recognize that Hillary Clinton is probably the largest recipient of sexism in any political figure in American history, probably. Like, I mean, especially like in the, what she went through in the early 90s and all that stuff. I mean, it's just, I can recognize both things at the same time, that I can be like sort of opposed to her entire political program while recognizing that she was a victim of sexism. I think that those two things can coexist. But yeah, I mean, sexism in American life, yeah, it's everywhere. I wish I had something more interesting to say, but yeah, I mean, it exists. There's no use denying it. It's just, I don't know.
Within the Progressive Party, when I hear a lot of people, when I see a lot of people tweet about AOC, they tweet about her looks and her.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, just look through any female like Ilhan Omar went through it with the Palestinian comments. I mean, it was like insane. I mean, look through any of their mentions on any given day, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's not rocket science. It's right there, plain for everyone to see.
And then the Bernie bros were also very brutal, especially to women of color. I saw some things that went down at Politicon the year that Aida and I were there, and I didn't appreciate. So no sector of this is immune to, I think the sexism that you talk about. Listen, there's definitely a double standard. There's definitely hypocrisy when it comes to the way that Republicans, hold up someone like Melania Trump, who has accomplished nothing in her life other than marry a billionaire and make sure she looks good all the time, compared to others and other first ladies. And I think that and especially the family values crowd in the Republican Party, that used to be the values voters, that I just can't even believe how hypocritical they have been, especially given Melania Trump's history and the photos that we have of her out there in the public domain that you alluded to, Aida, that I just can't even, like, I can't. And I have to sometimes be careful with what I say because she's technically still the first lady of the United States. And but my feelings about her have been very clear. And then you have these enablers like Kellyanne. I had a little bit of a Twitter viral moment earlier in the week when Kellyanne made the comment about how Joe Biden is like a frat, guy at the end of a frat party. I just need a woman. And I'm like, really, honey? How do you think you got your job? And why do you think you still have one? You give Donald Trump and his sexism cover for the things that he has said and done in his past and continues to do, and how he views women. You know, the way he goes after women reporters who are tough on him during briefings, and reminiscing and, you know, longing for the 1950s housewife ideal of a woman. And I mean, Kellyanne, I believe, is solely responsible for why Donald Trump got elected, because she stood by him after the Access Hollywood comments about grabbing pussies, that Republicans wanted to jump ship on him and thought he was dead in the water. And here she is, the most powerful woman in a political campaign at the time. She decided to make the decision to stick by him. And that gave cover to all of the men and to women. Well, if she's okay with it, she's a mother of 4, and she's there. If she's okay with it, then I guess we can be too. And that's why the Republicans stood by Donald Trump through that god-awful episode, which should have disqualified him right then and there. And so you have these women who are enablers that allow it, and they give cover to it. So, you know, I think we need to take responsibility for where we play a role in that too. What's acceptable for us as women as well.
Bakari, you think Kamala was unjustly held to purity tests as a?
Oh, no question. I mean, I think that if I was able to write a book about her campaign, I would just call it a collision. The Collision would be the name of it. You had the campaign that wasn't run the best from the inside, and you had a media who didn't know how to cover her, and it made for a really, really tragic car crash to watch. I think I'm not going to sit here and judge Melania. I mean, she's a birther. I don't really give her much energy or breath.
Right.
I try to make it me personally, I try to make it a practice not to talk about people's significant others. A lot of times they get drug into politics, you know, not on their own fruition. And so I have certain rules. I never really talk about people's significant others. I don't really talk about where people send their kids to school and who they pray to. I don't think that's just me. There is a lot of sexism in this world.
Bakari, but she's not a victim here. A lot of people try to make her out as a victim.
No, I just called her a birther. I'm just saying, she ain't no victim. I wholeheartedly
She's made choices. She's now in the public eye, and she made a choice, and you know how she conducts herself and what she chooses to speak out on and what she doesn't, and has a, you know, come on, the Be Best campaign, what a joke that is when your own husband is the biggest violator. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, and I think that I love Hillary Clinton. I think that when history is written, she is one of our more profound leaders, not just women leaders, but leaders in the history of this country. And I think that she has been unjustly bastardized for the better part of my life, for 30 years. But I think it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't think anybody escapes it, and we have to do a better job, especially when it comes to what I want to see the Democratic Party do is begin to uplift Black women instead of just saying thank you to them. I wish they would uplift them.